All right, I know I'm in the VTuber stuff again. I'm not usually in the VTube stuff on Thursdays. It just kind of happened to work out that way. But we're gonna talk about the twid because last week we put out a twid video and that thing had some dislikes, brother. That thing had a lot of dislikes. I don't know if people are disliking it because they didn't like my takes or they didn't like the information that was in that video. They thought I was not angry enough. Yeah, I'm sorry to disappoint that I don't really get like super mad at things anymore. I just don't, unless something like really pisses me off. But some of this news here should be encouraging to some people. Outline some goals August 7th, dedicated to improving progression, blah, 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 rewards, this and that, whatever. Based on player feedback, we're revisiting our approach to balancing progression as we believe our previous approach was too conservative and these nerfs would work against our goals of improving progression. To be clear, we believe these changes were the wrong call. So, planned reductions to power earned for a given grade within solo ops have been reverted. Planned reductions of engrams earned in Encore, Star-Crossed, and Whisper have been reverted. These were the big two things that were a problem with, last week's update. Those are gone. This change, I didn't really mind, like, prime engrams requiring decryption. This was not something that particularly bothered me. Now that I'm at 400 and, like, primes and upgrades are a little more obvious, I'm kind of like, okay, now at least I know when I'm getting a prime because, like, it'll probably be higher light. Whereas up until 400, I was like, I don't even know when the hell I'm getting primes and I'm not getting primes. I don't even know when that's happening. So yeah, all these things, which were like the big three things that everyone was pissed about, have been removed. I don't like, it's probably for the best. Like, again, Bungie is absolutely in, we need to make the people happy mode. And I'm not saying like, it was a good idea to do it. Like, I got like the thought process of it, but it's very obvious that they needed to bring some other stuff up first if they were going to do this. And I don't think enough stuff was communicated that it was also gonna be brought up. So they're ditching this, which is good because everybody hated it. Like, we're kind of back to neutral. I don't really consider it like a huge win. It's not like we're just like, we were here and then we dropped down and now we're back to where we were. That's it. Like, so I don't know, just pretend last week's video doesn't even exist anymore. I don't know. Fireteam Ops. Fireteam Ops is where I think we needed the most amount of work, and Bungie literally says we know that we have work to do. I think Fireteam Ops needs the most amount of juice out of everything that we have in the game right now. I gave an example last week. We had like a near perfect run of a battleground in Grandmaster. It took like 15 minutes and we got one drop. Like, that should not be the case when you can do other things as quickly as you can do them, right? Why isn't every single activity in Fireteam Ops not match made? I actually have an answer to that. It's due to population. They don't want to have too many things match made because it would dilute the player population across that activity, and it might be difficult to get matchmaking for all of those activities. That's one of the main like, I'm kind of with you. I wish they were all match made, but I've spoken with Bungie in the past about like, why aren't more things like this? And like, why can't we have access to blah, 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 blah? And they're like, dude, if we open up too many things, then like, you're never going to match make with anybody, or like you're going to match people who are not appropriate skill or stuff like that. And I was like, oh, actually, that's kind of a good point. This is just something you don't think about, right? You don't think about it. Anyway. Increased match-made Fireteam Ops time limits across the board. Expert, Master, Grandmaster getting more time limits buffer. I think my problem with Fireteam Ops is like, if I feel like we're killing everything, like, we should not be in situations where we need to farm ads or like elites or like whatever we need to farm to get more points in order to like get an A rank. Like, if we're doing a clean run and like no deaths and we're going at a pretty good speed and we beat it under the time limit, like, why are you not giving me the A? It should just be an A. This is not, like, this was a problem sometimes. Don't get me wrong. But the bigger problem is if we have a clean run of a thing, we're killing all the champions, we're killing all the enemies, and we're under the time limit, that should be a friggin' A. End of story. So that's got to get rebalanced somehow. because that's the most annoying thing is like going through a whole run and then it's like you got like a low B and it's like we killed everything, man. Like what do you want us to do? So that's got to get recalibrated somehow. Ash and Iron increase the number of drops for Liminality, Inverted Spire, and Onslaught, Widow's Court. I think we knew that already. Activity timer has been rebalanced. Yep, it's already in. Increase the number of drops for many more activities and Fireteam ops. Yes, we're still working on finalizing which specific activities we can buff up. We'll share more details. Fine. More drops, good. I want more consistent A's. If I'm doing good, it should be an A. But yes, if solo ops is giving you one reward and you can get that in 4 to 6 minutes, I'm sorry, we got to have at least 2 for a 10 to 15 minute. It's what it's got to be. I don't make the rules. That's what it has to be. End of story. Removing unpopular mods like Grappler from the Fireteam ops matchmaking pool. Thank you. I was working on my handheld Supernova build video and I was like, oh, let me get some footage in the Fireteam for like some 3-man stuff. What's the modifier? Grappler. My whole build is grenade, man. So thank you. This needed to go as well. I'm very happy about that. Following plan changes are focused on increasing rewards or increasing rewards quality, chance of prime engram, drop per completion reward. Activities with more base completion rewards like Liminality and Inverted Spiral provide more chance for primes. Working on a more consistent power reward experience for the upper power climb. This will be 500 to 550. I've been working on a video that's just kind of like, you know, a vibe check. 2 months, or I guess like it's a month and a half, but like by the time the video comes out, it'll be about 2 months after Edge of Fate. And I personally have like no desire to participate that hard in the 400 to 450 power grind unless they make it more engaging. Like, again, I want the raid. I think they've already talked about it, right? I want the raid to be dropping powerful gear from that. Like, I want the raid to be 400 to 450. That's where you want to go to get some drops, man, or like pinnacle stuff or whatever. It's okay. I guess it's okay if you want to make it a little bit slower, but like right now, I am in no friggin' hurry whatsoever. No hurry at all to try to climb to 450 or 550 in, you know, in like a 2 weeks or whatever, right? So this, I'm very interested in seeing what they do, because this is just like 400 to 450 is just not, I don't care. I don't like, I'll live without tier 5 gear. I'll be completely fine. But that wall, even I haven't even peeked over the wall. I'm just like, what's going on over there? And I'm like, still like, nope. Don't want to. Last week's twid, yeah. So a lot of this we talked about already. Time bonus, yep. Desert Perpetual giving more drops. I mean, Desert Perpetual needed so many buffs to get people in there. Still gonna be cautious about a singular ops category or activity becoming the go-to for power leveling. We want Destiny to be a game where you hop in with your friends to level rather than declining an invite to spend time in a solo activity for the sake of progression. Agree. 100% agree. It's just, you can't put the cat back in the bag anymore with this game. So I'm glad that they have this philosophy of like, hey, we want you to do 3 and 6 player activities to level, man. This is what we want you to do. And I'm like, yes, I agree. But like, you already let the freaking cat out of the bag. Like, people are just going to get pissed, right? I don't know why they haven't learned this lesson yet. We understand alternate experiences need to be brought up a bit more to help make things feel good rather than pushing the other options down in the short term. We don't want people who generally just want to play solo or pinnacle ops feel like they're getting caught by a stray nerf. Current approach is to bring options up and make sure they feel good before we look at the problem children. Good. Do this first. Make the things that suck better, and then when people are happy with those and maybe like they become the more rewarding things, then you can dial it back. Let's move on. Heavy Metal comes back. I liked Heavy Metal. What else we got? Congrats on Destiny Rising's release, which we are actively playing. Newest art drop, PAX West community update. Okay. We got an emblem, rank 5, a sword foil for 8 and 10, kinetic shotgun foil for 8 and 15. You can also get the exotic sparrow for achieving rank 14. Only 7 days. Okay. Twitch drops will be available for the entirety of Heavy Metal. Watch a participating streamer on Twitch for 1 hour between 10 a.m. September 2nd, 10 a.m. September 9th to receive the Mad Dog emblem. I like that they're doing watch time emblems and sub emblems. Rotate them back and forth. Too many gifted sub emblems like burns people out. Give me a watch time one, give me a sub one. Give me a watch time one, give me a sub one. That way people who, you know, don't have all this money to throw some freaking gift subs for emblems or whatever, you gotta back and forth. Class Fantasy and Destiny. I'm very interested to see what they have here, because this feels somewhat unprompted, besides some of the Warlock stuff. And I know a lot of people have been complaining about like, oh, Warlock builds are all based on like buddies and stuff like that. and we want like some other things to do here. So let's see what they have to say here. When you boot up Destiny for the first time, your Guardian class, the first choice you make is Light Bearer. Do you want to be the one, the floaty one holding the fireball, slender one with the cape and blade, blah, blah, blah. Unique fantasy that players assume as they play. When we talk about fantasy, we often split the term into emotional fantasy and mechanical fantasy. To oversimplify it, emotional fantasy is how you feel when you play. Mechanical fantasy is what you do when you play. When it comes to mechanical fantasy, or the gameplay role that classes play in combat, Destiny's classes don't have the hard lines that some other RPGs have. This is due to the demands of a fast-paced action game, but also because Guardians are tiny gods with the power to cross lines and break rules. We don't have a dedicated healer class or DPS class. Yes, we deliberately give certain classes more access to some keywords to reinforce the class identity. That's not surprising at all, but rarely do we give them exclusive access to a keyword. After all, if all the classes have equal access to everything, what's the point of having classes to begin with? This is why you can go into a raid with any setup of classes and any subclasses that you want, right? And you can beat it. Obviously, there are some setups that are better than others, right? But you can go in with anything and do anything. This is also why we don't have any raid mechanics or dungeon mechanics based on certain abilities, right? If there was like some AoE attack and it was like, okay, and then the Titan cast their Ward of Dawn, well, then every single raid you would need a Titan, and if you can't find a Titan, then it's just like, okay, well, guess we lose, right? We're diving deeper into the class identity to talk about our upcoming plans for each class. Some of these changes will come in releases during September, October, fine. The Warlock is the arcane spellcaster of the group. What they lack in strength and speed, they make up for in knowledge and sorcery. The best, okay, We plan to do more to reinforce the Warlock identity. In the short term, we're working on enabling deeper build crafting and finding ways to give Warlocks more ability uptime. The Empowering Rift change coming in Ash and Iron is part of this. Is getting an insane, what looks to be an insane buff where it's giving like all sorts of ability energy now as well. It's doing everything other than healing. Longer term, we'd like to give Warlocks more mobile healing options and a passive benefit to match the other classes. Titans do bonus uncharged melee damage. Hunters have higher base movement speed. Here's some upcoming Warlock changes we're working on. The following Warlock turrets will now count as grenades for stats and perks. Ionic Sentry, Arc Soul, Hellion, Bleak Watcher, Child of the Old Gods. Empowering Rift will now generate neutral game ability energy over time. Kills while standing in Empowering Rift will now generate bonus ammo progress. Yes, this one we already know. At least it's something. And like all these are good, man. I know people are tired of them, but at least they're all pretty friggin' good. I'm interested to see how much stronger these builds get, right? Like Hellion, I know it's not that exciting, but like it's really good. Okay. So not a lot of things here. Titan is the knight of the group. What they lack in magical ability and rage to make up for strength and stability. The tip of the spear. Okay. Going forward, we'd like to get some more artillery expert flavor into the Titan's kit and give them more opportunities to flex their tactician muscles. In the short term, we're working on some updates to behemoth abilities. Longer term, we'd like to make updates to Ward of Dawn and the Sentinel subclass. Yes. Among other things, here's some upcoming changes. Howl the Storm will now grant 2 melee charges and changed Stasis Crystal spawn pattern and added 4 more crystals. Okay. Howl the Storm's a little, I think it's a neat ability, but I'm also just like, I don't know. You might even be able to go 3. Like, considering what Prismatic can do, you get 3 melee charges to lay down 3 consecrations. Like, this should be bare minimum, right? So, like, 2 might still not even be enough. But I do like the ability. It's just not that good. And then Bastion will now have faster cooldown in PvP. I think people are saying, what? The Bastion changes PvE, they just tweeted. The tweet is wrong. Faster cooldown PvE. Okay, I was going to say, like, yeah, I would love to see, like, Sentinel and Ward of Dawn just have a little more value other than just like, yeah, we put out volatile sometimes because, like, everybody can do volatile pretty decently now. You see what the part about speed is going to be more rewarding right after you complain about it? Fireteam Ops has a greater value for speed versus killing all enemies. Yeah, but like, I want to see it before I believe it. Because if you go 2 minutes faster and you're still getting a B+ or whatever, I want to see it. I want to see it in game. Hunter is the rogue of the group. Sorry, the rouge of the group. They make for in precision, agility. Going forward, we like to give hunters more abilities to help support their fire team. In the short term, we're working on giving Gunslinger an update. Longer term, we like to address the feedback that Night Stalker relies too much on invisibility, among other things. Here's some hunter changes that we're working on. Okay, on your mark. Stacks of on your mark now gives weapon stat instead of weapon handling and reload. Max of 40 weapon stat at 10 stacks. Okay. That is interesting. 40 weapon stat? Now you don't have to maybe build as much weapon stat for like your raid loadouts? Okay. Rescaled stack count to a max of 10. Precision hits now give 1 stack. Precision final blows give 2. Precision final blows at 10 now cure you instead of giving radiant. Okay. I mean, okay. Yeah, precision hits now give 1 stack. Yeah, this might be... I'm guessing they're like kind of hoping that some of the weapon stat makes up for the radiant stuff, but like radiant has some utility as well, like anti-barrier stuff. Not too sure. Just run torches, yeah. I don't know. I guess I'm thinking of this more in like a raid environment where you can just give free weapon stat to everybody. Golden Gun Dead Shot now refunds ammo on Golden Gun Final Blows instead of on ignitions. Extends super duration on Golden Gun Final Blows. Duration gain diminishes. Marksman Dodge now reloads all weapons on activation. Now picks up nearby ammo bricks on activation. I mean, that's pretty good. I know, probably not a ton of people using marksmans versus gamblers. Yeah, you got Radiant Dodge. I know, like, not a lot of people use it, but it exists. It does exist. And, yeah, I don't know. I haven't played with, like, On Your Mark in such a long time. I don't really have a good feel for it. I'm wondering if this does anything for, like, any sort of rating DPS stuff. Like, with Envious Arsenal being what it is and just getting the free reloads without having to go through a whole animation. I don't know, but, like, the whole picks up ammo bricks on activation seems kind of cool. It just depends on how nearby do you need to be. Like, what's the range? We love all of Destiny's classes equally, and we're dedicated to making sure that each has a chance to shine. We don't want our area classes to be viewed as the DPS class. All three classes should be capable of roughly the same amount of damage output. There's only going to be certain builds that are more effective than others. Doing more to make each class's identity more distinct, potentially through stronger passive effects for each class. However, this adds more complexity to an already complex game, and the player experience comes first. We truly appreciate the feedback you give on the classes. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm obviously like way more interested in some of the buffs we're getting. Warlock and Titan look. This is kind of like whatever. This is nice. This is really nice. But okay. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I have anything crazy to say about any of this. It all makes sense. Yeah, Destiny Rising launch for the emblem. What do you do? Complete Bear the Light in Destiny Rising. Once you complete it, a redemption code will populate your screen. Redeem the code. You got the emblem. That's it. New emblem, charity emblem. Okay. All right, that's about it. Oh, God. The red dot sight for the Antidate SMG is slightly off center. That would drive me insane. Do not redeem. Is it not working or something? Oh, it's a meme? Okay. It's giving very strong, why would you turn?